Every year on Palm Sunday, we read through the entire Passion according to whatever gospel is appointed for that year. And as we do this, I am always amazed at how the events that took place so long ago are still so relevant for talking to us in today's day and in today's life. For we are surrounded today by the same type of things and the same type of circumstances that surrounded Jesus in those last hours as he journeyed to the cross for the salvation of the world. For as much as things evolve and change, they stay the same. In the hearing of the Passion every year, we can find much of ourselves and the world around us. We see the nature of humanity in the individual people that we hear about in the Passion. But most importantly, we see sin. The sin that sent Jesus to the cross for the salvation of the world. As we just went through the events of Holy Week according to Mark, we heard about the chief priests and the scribes, the leaders of the day, who at all costs were willing to listen to lies, were willing to pay money in order to hang on to their positions of power and influence. Pretty similar to the world in which we live today, huh? Judas, as close as family to Jesus, yet he allowed his own demons and his own desire for earthly gain to cause him to turn against the one whom he loved. How many families are broken apart today? Peter, so often, like we talk about, wants to do the right thing. He wants to be the faithful one. He wants to have the right answers. And never was it more important during these events, the events of Holy Week. And yet Peter struggles with sin and keeps tripping up. The soldiers fighting over what would be left after Jesus died, casting lots. I can't tell you how many times during my personal life and my ministry I have seen the dark shadow of greed overshadow the death and the loss of a loved one. Are the events of the Passion still relevant for us today? The more things change, the more they stay the same. And then there are two in the reading that we heard that are a little different. The woman who anoints Jesus with oil, preparing him for burial. She got it. She understood what it was all about. And then the witness in the temple when the curtain was torn in two, who said, truly, this was God's Son. That's what this week is about. In the midst of all those struggles and difficulties, the effects of sin that surround us seeing this is God's Son, and this is what it means to us. And so I have an invitation for you. The average American watches 5 hours of television every single day. I invite you to spend 5 hours this week, from Wednesday to next Sunday, Easter Sunday, spending time in an experience that will be life-changing. On Wednesday, we're having a liturgy of healing. Many of us need healing from a whole variety of things, whether it be in the body or the mind, the spirit, whatever it is. You will have an opportunity during that liturgy to come forward alone to the Lord's altar, to kneel here, to share out loud at the feet of God's altar what you need healing for, to receive prayer and the laying on of hands, and then the sacrament of the altar for your strengthening, for your encouragement. Holy Thursday, Maundy Thursday, we hear the last will and testament of Jesus. And as when most of us are named in a last will and testament, it's because somebody loves us. We hear about God's love. Friday, Good Friday, we stop and we pause and we look at death and the cross. We can't fully understand the joy of Easter unless we spend a little bit of time at the cross. And then Easter Saturday, the Vigil, is the most unique and powerful liturgy you will ever experience in the church. For over the course of the liturgy, we cross over from the darkness of sin and death to the light and the joy and the hope of the new life of Easter in the same way we anticipate the sun rising in the morning. And then, of course, Easter Sunday, that's who we are. That's what our identity is about as God's people. The more things change, the more they stay the same. But in the midst of it, 5 hours, give or take, has benefits that are everlasting. Amen.